everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. Bunch of things to talk about this week. First, I want to start with Animal Crossing Festivale, which happened on February 15th. I love it. It's the super gayest holiday in all of Animal Crossing. And it turned out it was the same as in the previous games. You collect feathers, you give him 3 of the colored feather, and he'll give you furniture. Except instead of giving you, like, room furniture, he just gives you more of those same Festivale items that you get at the store with, like, the stage and the balloon and the light and the drum and the flag and all that stuff. So, less thrilling, because it's not, like, new items. It was basically just, my store sold the green color. Now, if I gave him red feathers, he'd give me a red item. Blue feathers would give me a blue item. So if you wanted to go and try to collect all of the items in all of the colors, you could spend all day collecting feathers and doing that. But that's kind of busy work and not fun, so I don't care. I basically just gave him enough, and gave him enough stuff to the point where he gave me enough furniture that he was like, you know what, if you give me 3 rainbow feathers, I'll give you something special. And I was like, that's what I'm after. And if you give him 3 rainbow feathers, then you get the Festivale float, which is a giant bird that lights up and moves and plays music, and it's awesome. Although 1 rainbow feather will give you... He did take 1 rainbow feather and gave me like a rainbow flag, so I'm like, maybe it would be worth it to like craft enough rainbow feathers to get all of the items in rainbow style. But I figured I'd wait and do that next year, because it gives you something to do next year, because once you've done a holiday and collected all the furniture in Animal Crossing, next year, if you're still playing, and I am always still playing, the holiday is lame, because it's like, why go through the effort, because you're just going to get the same stuff again. So, like, once I do a holiday, I don't bother. If I don't get everything, then next year I go and I get more. Like I found out that after your birthday, you're supposed to give those birthday cupcakes to the people who didn't come to your party, and they'll give you party furniture. I did not know this, and by the time I found out, it was days after my birthday, and I gave Bea a cupcake, and she was like, great, thanks, I'll eat it later. And I was like, nothing at all? Great. So I have extra cupcakes for next year then. But that's the problem. They've been tricking us, I think, by giving us these regular content updates to Animal Crossing, because previous games, the holidays were all in the game already. Here, they're like, okay, we'll add in, you know, Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter and, well, you know, whatever, Toy Day and Harvest Festival, whatever. But we've been getting used to these regular content updates, so now we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary, so it's like, okay, so when Bunny Day comes around again, are we going to have new egg furniture? Will there be new egg DIYs? Will Zipper T Bunny be less creepy? No. What are we going to get this year? Is it going to be the same as last year? If it is, then what's the point of doing all of that holiday stuff, all the activities again, because you're not going to get anything new out of it. So I'm hoping that they're going to keep doing these regular updates to kind of tweak things as we go along. But we'll see. There was also a Nintendo Direct this past week, which was very long, and I never watched them live, because I always watch any kind of presentation like this, I always watch later, so that I can fast forward through the stuff I don't care about. And unfortunately there was quite a bit in this one that I just didn't care about. There was really nothing in here that grabbed my attention. I was reminded that I don't think I ever finished Skyward Sword on the Wii. I think there was something towards the end that got like really hard, and I got annoyed, and I just like put it down, and I never picked it back up again, because that happens. So I'm like, well, I could play that, but then I was like, no. And not because they're going to charge full price for it, because they always charge full price for everything on Nintendo, even if it's a remake. It's not the price point, it's just the fact that it's hard for me to justify going back and playing a game that I've already played again, when there's all these games that I haven't played at all yet that I would rather play. You know what I mean? Like, not new games, because there isn't a whole lot new right now that I'm playing, but like, I'm working through some backlog and whatever, and it's like, there's also games that I could get on sale that are older that I could get that would be new to me. you know? So it's tough for me to justify. It's like the Mass Effect trilogy. Yes, I would love to play through the Mass Effect trilogy in beautiful HD. The graphics look stunning. But I've played them. Do I want to play it again? I don't know. I have other games that I feel like I should play first. Because I don't want to replay things that I've already played. I'd rather play something I haven't played before. But we'll see. I will say that the price point was a bit of a sticking point for the Famicom Detective Club. That totally caught my eye. Like, that's so my bag. Like, it looks like a Phoenix Wright kind of thing, just without the courtroom. It's just you going around and questioning witnesses and figuring out the mystery and solving what really happened. That really appeals to me. And then they're like, hey, if you order both, there's 2 games, and if you order both of them, you can save $10 off. You buy one, you get $10 off the second one. I said, oh, that's a good deal. But it's not, because they're $35 each. So it's $35 for one, and then $25 for the other, which is like $60 for both games. And I'm just like $35 is a lot. These look like 20, 25 tops. But I don't know, because I don't know how much gameplay is in them. So it's kind of difficult for me to judge. So I think I'm going to wait for reviews to find out if they're worth $35 each. And if they're not necessarily worth that much money, then I'll just wait for a sale, because hopefully it'll go on sale at some point. Maybe I can get it for $25 each. Then it might be worth it. Because I have plenty of games left to play. And I am still playing Control, obviously. And, oh my god. There was a point I thought I was going to throw the controller through my new TV. In order to get one of the objects of power that will give Jesse a new super ability, you had to do a ranger training course, which was just an obstacle course going from room to room, and you had to do it like in a minute. And, oh my god, I suck at anything timed in video games. That's why I don't like racing games, because I'm not good enough to do it in that specified amount of time. Because you have to be flawless. You can't make any real mistakes. You could make a couple of minor ones, but you make anything major, and you've blown it and you're not going to finish in time. There's no way to make up the time. You're screwed. And that was the problem. So I did this thing dozens of times. I did it dozens of times, and then I had to make dinner, so I went back the next day, and I did it a whole bunch more times, and then I actually got to one point where I, like, just made the finish line, and the door shut right in front of me, and I was so upset. And then a couple more tries, and then I made it in. Because it entails, like, shooting at small little targets, and telekinetically moving batteries into wall sockets. And my problem is that my aim would be slightly off, and I even went in and turned on aim assist in the controls, in the options, but that, I guess, doesn't work on stationary targets. I guess it only works on enemies in the actual game. So I turned it back off again, because it wasn't doing anything. Because it couldn't, like, help lock my cursor onto the actual target, because they're very small, and I would shoot around it a lot. And then sometimes I'd go to grab the battery, but I'd accidentally grab a chair or something, and I'm like, ugh, and then you gotta get rid of that, and it's eating up time. Every little thing eats up time, and you only have a minute. So it drove me insane. But I finally made it, and I got the object of power, and then I had to go through the astral plane demo to learn how to use the shield, because I thought a shield would be really helpful, so I really wanted to get this one. I mean, I want to get them all anyway, but this one particularly, I was like, a shield would be really helpful. So I'm like, okay, and I get the shield, and I died a few times trying to get through that, and then I finally made it out of the astral plane, and then I was attacked by a bunch of enemies where you're supposed to use your shield power to go to cover and then kill them. And it was fine, I did that. But when I came out of the astral plane, I had only a little bit of health, and I was keeping my distance and shooting them from above. So they're dropping all the little health spikes, but I couldn't go collect those. And then somebody threw a grenade or something, and I blew up and I died. And I was like, dang it. Unfortunately, when I respawned, I did not respawn having just emerged from the astral plane with a full bar of health. Instead, I respawned back at an elevator at the beginning of the area. I said, oh great, whatever. I go back to the training course. However, I find that the training course is not I can't get in there. In order to get back into that room, I would have to do the entire training course again. No. I checked online. There's like a chest with a power-up and like a document in that area. And I'm like, you know what? Don't need it. It's fine. Although watch me get to the end of Control and find out that I'm actually only one document away from getting 100% on that trophy. That'll piss me off. But it's not like I'm going to get all the other trophies anyway, so I would never 100% the game anyway. So I was just like, put it away, you're not getting that document, just move on with the game, you have the power, that was the important part. But the whole save system is really obnoxious. Like when you respawn, it's really annoying. Because you respawn back at the last control point that you activated, or an elevator. Except, it's apparently not all elevators, because the other day, I was playing it, and I was like, oh, I have to stop, so I said, oh, there's an elevator right there, let me just ride that elevator down a floor, and then back up, and then I'll come out of the elevator, and that'll be where it'll save me, in case my husband decides that he wants to play Friday the 13th or something. So, I come back to play Control again, and it did not start me at that elevator. It had started me back at the previous control point. And then I had to work out how to get back to where I wanted to be, which is of course difficult because the map is garbage. And I eventually did it, and I got back to that map, and I got back to the elevator, and I said, okay, fine. Let me just go through this door now. I went through the door. On the other side of that door by the elevator was a control point. If I had just played for one more minute, I just didn't want to go through that door because I didn't know what was on the other side. I thought it might be a big battle or something, and I didn't have time for that. If I had just peeked my head through that door, I would have seen the control point, and then I could have saved there, and it would have been perfectly fine. But yeah, the save spots and the respawning in Control is not always super great. But I'm still playing it. I did take a couple days off because I wanted to play some No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky had a content update where they have now added companions, where you can pick one of the little alien creatures on the planet, a little blobby, a little spider, a little whatever, and you can make it your companion. You can feed it and pet it, and then you can like talk to it, and it'll help you, and it'll do things for you, and you can have like a little alien companion that travels with you, and I thought that, oh my god, that's so adorable, and I need one. So, of course, I started playing, and I'm traveling to all these different planets. Unfortunately, I have not yet found a companion that I liked. Because I didn't want to pick one and say, okay, I'll just go with you, because whatever. And then have them until I find somebody better. Because I want one of those little teddy bear guys. But the problem is I don't want to, like, have a pet and then have to get rid of it in order to swap it out for another one, because that's kind of rude. So I'm like, let me just get the one companion and not be rude. Because I don't know if you can, like, put them on your freighter or something and have them stay with you in your base or something, and, like, swap out companions as you want. I don't know yet how that works yet. So I'm waiting until I find just the right one. But in playing the game, I may not have found a companion, but I did find a whole lot of other things that were brand new. Like, there's always something new to see. That's what I like about No Man's Sky, is there's always something new to see, but sometimes it's just like a variation on a theme. You know, oh, it's another hot planet. Oh, but now there's like fire on the ground. That's new. But sometimes it's like legit. Like, I was flying to a planet, and suddenly a relic gate appeared in space, and I was like, what the hell is that? But I was a little nervous, but I'm here to explore, so I said, F it, and I flew through it, and it warped me like 1,000,000 miles through space, light years. But in fact, when I checked, it actually like put me like 100,000 light years further away from the galactic core, which is sort of annoying because that's what I'm trying to get to, but whatever, it's fine. It was still just something new and exciting to see and do, and that was cool. Also, there was another time when I flew to a planet, and there was this really large pyramid-type structure. Not a pyramid, really. but a very tall structure. And I landed there to check it out, and it was not like the other trading posts. This was more like this had more stuff on it. Like it had like lots of little storefronts and people and stuff, and it was almost like part of a space station. It was like the same stuff you'd find on the space station, but it was on the planet inside this big building. Not that you could go up in the big building, it was just on the ground, but still. Something new, and that's kind of exciting and fun, and that's why I like to play No Man's Sky periodically, just because it's relaxing, but it's also like super fun just to see what's new. So I'm going to be playing both probably over the next week, so come back next episode to see if I have found myself a companion and to see if I've gotten frustrated at Control anymore, because I bet I will. So I will see you then. Bye!